first. I've always felt that I'm too fortunate and too lucky to have what I have and experience what I've experienced. So this in a way not deserving.
Yeah.
So, it seems a bit of a contradiction.
No, I get that. Yeah.
So I can accept what I have and don't feel I need anything else.
But that must hurt your heart, because if you've still got a seeking dynamic and you've experienced loads of things in this life, it's actually a really fortunate place to be at. You also internally know that you can't find what you're looking for, that you've experienced all these different things. So Osho, one of his teachings, although he seemed to teach everything, so if he taught this, he taught the opposite. But one of his was, you have to go out and experience everything. So if you're still desiring lots of sexuality, or you're still desiring to be a spiritual seeker, or you're still desiring a master, like, go out and do it, to see that's not it, that's not what you look for.
So we don't know what we're looking for.
No, you don't. The mind can only project it's a thing, and you're not really looking for a thing. That would be a cruel life if it was in a thing, because all things change. So if it was in a thing, you would get it, and then it would begin to disorientate, yeah, and vanish. And so that would be cruel if it was a thing. So thankfully it's not a thing. But yeah, you don't know what you're looking for, because your mind can only look in objects, in subject, object. Me, looking for a thing, and what you're looking for is no thing, which is incomprehensible. Like, if I say no thing, then most people would imagine like a black hole in space or something, which isn't no thing. Yeah. Sometimes after you've got to the stage of experiencing a lot of things in this life and having a fortunate life, life ironically can become dull. Like, that's a big heartache, because then you feel compassion for those that have less and would desire to be in your position, and in your position there's a sense of dullness. Because as a young person, what can be quite exciting is the hope that you're going to make it. This can go on for many lifetimes. There's this hope that you're going to arrive. But if you've been fortunate enough to experience lots of things, you really realize that you're never going to arrive, and that can take away hope. And if you take away hope, then you can fall into hopelessness, which can be a great springboard for awakening, but it can be a very uncomfortable feeling to experience hopelessness. What does your body feel like now? I can see there's still more of a question, but you can't quite find it.
I guess there's two things I was thinking about. The way my body feels. It can be a complete emptiness and nothingness.
Yeah.
You need to drag something up to feel something, or it can be so intense that physical hurt or pain.
Yeah.
I don't understand how that works. Why does your body hurt so much?
Do you know, I asked the teacher that myself.
Yeah. It's like a cramp or a muscle.
Yeah.
Is it a muscle? What's going on? Why does it hurt? Why does it physically hurt?
I think that's a wonderful place to be at. Like, I know it doesn't feel like it, but I remember being exactly the same. I went to a teacher and I just went, my body hurts, and then I started crying, and then I was like, why does it have to hurt so much? Like, it felt... So I have an answer for everything, but also know that everything that we're talking about is eventually giving up every answer. It's like living in a mystery, in a free fall. But I give an answer to try to unpick things that are there already. So the reason that your body hurts so much, I feel like springing up. My life is coming back. For those that weren't here yesterday, I've been having a surprising bout of diarrhea. I don't know where that could have come from in India, but I got surprisingly hit by it. And yesterday I was a little reluctant to move too much. And I'm quite a vital teacher, whereas today I'm feeling like, woof, I'm going to get up. I'm feeling quite springy. I might be being a bit risky though still. Got baggy trousers on though, black. It's helpful. So, okay, I'm trying not to reveal my body too much as we're in India, but I'm going to give you a demonstration of the chakra system. So this is something that isn't accurate to traditional chakra systems, and I could do it accurately. That would be quite simple. I would just spend a couple of weeks learning it and do it really accurately. But I don't, because I did it through my own exploration, and I have to be genuine and honest to my own exploration. I can point you to the proper accurate system, and you can go and look it up and you can make your own conclusions, but this is my own conclusion on the body and why the body hurts so much. So, and this is from years and years of investigation. So I did Vipassana meditation. I also studied Chinese medicine, did Ayurveda, and I did mindfulness meditations, and then also years and years of really exploring deeply what it is to have a feeling body. And I was fortunate enough to have a sore body. I think it's good that you realize your body's sore. So we have these chakras, and I think the chakra system is so incredibly accurate for emotions. Mine differs from the main system, and it's a lot more complicated than I'm going to explain to you. So this is a very basic Lisa Cairns interpretation. But you find your own interpretation. I'm just trying to give you food for thought to explore yourself. So we have this chakra system, and each chakra has emotions in it. It's very complicated, and it connects to your whole body. But it also has these thoughts to it and these feelings to it. So to me, I'm going to go for the main feeling chakras, but there are all chakras. So in your throat, you might have noticed this before. In your throat, you have a ball of energy that arises when you feel sad or when you can't express emotion. You might notice that you get a sore neck, and if you want to say something and people are oppressing you from saying something, it begins to hurt your neck. You might not even notice this. What you might finally notice is you've got neck ache all the time, and that's because there's so many times when you haven't expressed yourself. So your throat chakra is about expressing emotion. It's about knowing what you want and knowing how to express yourself. And it's also about emotions coming up. So if you feel great sadness, it's about the emotion coming up and out. And yeah, there's so much complexity to it. So if somebody starts talking about neck ache, I know that they don't express what they want. That they're most probably being fake around people. I'm guilty of this sometimes. I used to be more guilty of this, but I really tried to recondition this. Is that you're being nice when you don't feel like being nice. That you're saying things to make the other person feel better. That you're saying the opposite because you're embarrassed to express yourself or embarrassed to be who you are. So this is what this chakra is. That's the throat chakra, and I don't know what colour they call it. I've forgotten. I should get this tattooed on my arm as well, so I can just pretending I know.
It's blue.
It's blue. We got blue in the throat. Oh, here. Wow, fantastic. Okay. But do you know, some chakra systems change the colour. They also change the emotion as well. So you got the third eye, and I would really push on you to be wise, to explore, not be arrogant, but also make up your own mind about these things. Put in the information, read lots of different things about it, and then feel what's true for you. So you got your third eye. Most people are stuck in this, especially in the West. Their third eye is, so they would say it's intuition, and my interpretation of that is the amazing ability to see the past and future. This is amazing that we can do this. It can imagine things that are not here. You can imagine that a monkey might fall through the roof if it's making lots of sound. You can imagine and predict what it will be like up at the road. So they would call it intuition. I say it's the ability to see past and future. It's intelligent thinking. It's creativity. It's amazing, this area. There's so much here. It's also compulsive thinking, overthinking, addictive thinking, and it's also where most people think they are. They think they're here behind the eyes. You're here, and that your personal awareness is here, and you're looking from here. So that's what this area is. You've got this one, the Crown Chakra. To me, what it feels like is this connection to something bigger, this expansiveness, and this this feeling of bigness. It can also be this feeling of being shut down or small, or a heaviness, like this kind of heavy feeling. So that's that chakra. And you can also have nice energies where everything comes up and out. Like if you're feeling a difficult feeling, you can feel it go up and out through this one and balance. You can have all types of different experiences. Then here you've got the heart area, and here, so it's not that one is negative and one is positive. It's that you have these two different sides, and each emotion is beneficial and has a purpose. The problem is that most humans get stuck in negative feelings. But each feeling has its benefit, believe it or not. Like it has importance that you have emotion coming up, that you have a feeling of wanting to express things, or if somebody's oppressing you, you can feel that and you can move somewhere else. You can go to an environment that's more expressive for you, or you can change your behaviour. They were never meant to be wrong. It's just that we didn't use them correctly and we got stuck in negative feelings. You've got your heart, which is a wanting to be loved, a wanting to connect with other people, a wanting to be part with the group, a wanting to express yourself. And then the negative, or the other side of it, is feeling unloved, feeling like you're not in the group, feeling lack, feeling like you're not good enough. You've got your solar plexus, which is also really active for Westerners. And in the solar plexus, the positive is feeling like you can doing it, feeling like you're in charge, feeling like you have a possibility to do something hopeful, meaningful. And in its negative is meaningless, feeling hopeless, feeling like you can't do it, feeling like you're stuck, depression and anger and rage. This area though, the solar plexus, I've recently been told, and I couldn't quite articulate this, that the solar plexus is like, it goes all the way here, but you also have other areas. So it can also go, those feelings can go down into your deeper part of your belly. Here you've got the hara, so you've got this really spacious, grounded part here, but you've also got this other chakra, which is sexuality, and it's love. It's just here, and connectedness, intimacy. It can also be fear. It can also be a sense of not survival, a sense of not being intimate, a sense of lack of love. Then you've got your base chakra, and all of these go all over your body, but this is the main places of them. You've got your base chakra, which is between your legs and between your genitals and your butthole, in that middle bit, and in the air a little bit. And that is a groundedness, trust, a feeling that you can survive, a feeling like you're connected, that you're stable, and it can also be lack of trust, disconnection, cut off, numbness, a feeling like you can't survive, and fear. But everybody's experience is different. So, back to your question after I've explained all the chakras. The reason that your body hurts is because you're telling yourself negative stories, and you're activating your chakras, and it hurts like hell. In Australia, when I was living there, I heard that the number one drug they prescribed was, I thought it was going to be the pill, and it might have changed now, but antidepressants for backache. Like when you're stressed, you go like this. Also, I think the reason that people get stressed is because they're not following their passion. And when you don't follow your passion and what you love, you feel an immense sense of lack of love, that you're not good enough. When you're not following what you love doing, and you're doing something you dislike, you feel immensely unworthy. And so it's that stress. And you can see it in people's body, like when people feel lack of love, they're like this. When people have issues in the throat, they're like that, and they have very little flexibility. Most people feel this one, the solar plexus. A lot of people feel like they can't do things, like they're disempowered, that they won't make it. And these are unconscious thoughts that are arising throughout the day, and it's happening all the time. When you spend years and years investing in negative thoughts, you're activating the discomfort of your body all the time. You're going to the shop, and you're even feeling going to the shop like you're a failure, but you're not conscious of it, but you're walking in there and you're saying unconsciously, nobody's going to like me, nobody's going to like me, bad things are going to happen, bad things are going to happen. And you have to get into your body, and you will detect these thoughts. you detect that they're running all the time. And when there's something running, like bad things are going to happen to me when I get into the shop, or nobody's going to like me, like you go to the coffee shop, or I'm never going to be able to make it, like you've got to put up a shed, and then there's a feeling like you can't make it, you can't do it, it's all going to go wrong, and you've got to phone India and like speak to somebody on the phone for hours, and nothing ever works out, and what have you ever done today? And this can be running prior to even starting something, and then you like wonder why your body hurts. You're like, oh God, I'm so exhausted. So this one particularly is exhaustion. Like if you're telling yourself I'm meaningless and I'm hopeless, this is so exhausting. This is why the body hurts. And you know this not through me telling you, because somebody telling you isn't the way to learn things. The way to learn things is doing it yourself. And you just pay attention. Like you go into the shop and you just become immensely honest that you've got a surface level that's like, I'm better than everyone else. Who do they think they are, getting in my way? Look at that person taking up all the aisle. And then when you're honest to yourself, underneath it, you're like, I'm not good enough. Like you're just telling yourself that story as a form of protection. Deep down, you feel not good enough, not worthy, like you don't deserve any space. And if that's running all the time, everything you're doing, like even when you come here, you're like, man, she's speaking so complicated, I'm never going to get it. This is... and then everyone's asleep. And then you're like, she's a bad teacher, it's all her. But it's like and this happens, and you think, everyone thinks their thoughts are true. So everyone thinks what they're thinking on the surface level is true. So you go into something, you feel like a failure all the time, and then suddenly it's somebody else's fault and they're an asshole. But really deep down, you're in the I'm a failure. You just need to explore it and recondition yourself to more upwards. And it will naturally take over the more upwards your thought system is. It's very easy to do. What's the difficult part to it is admitting it. We don't like to admit it because we've got this idea of ourselves, and then we've got the current vibrational experience of ourselves, which is always changing, and we hate admitting that because that makes us vulnerable. If you've got an idea of yourself that you're always a good person, this was one of my downfalls, was always wanting to be a good person. I became a vegetarian when I was age 8, and I was very proud of this, and I thought other people that were vegetarian were bad people. And so anything that made me a bad person was very difficult. So to admit to myself that I could have hateful thoughts was very difficult. Like I wanted, on the surface, I wanted to be like, everybody's love, we're all love, I love everyone. And there could be days where I'm like, fuck off, I hate everybody, everyone's like, can't I? And I never wanted to admit that about myself. My teacher used to say, and I disliked him when he used to say this. I'd be like, yeah, just because you're a bad person. He used to say, always be very careful of a peaceful person. Because somebody that's walking around like a peaceful person, I mean, like why are they wanting to show that they're peaceful? Like, you don't need to show anyone you're peaceful. Like normally it's because you're hiding something else. So I had a lot of rage that I was hiding. Well, not a lot of rage, a lot of low self-esteem actually, but it just came up in rage. So yeah, this is why your body hurts, and you just need to investigate and recondition. So you acknowledge it, you do the honesty thing, you're honest that you're hating or you feel exhausted. So even now, your story might be like, oh, this is freaking impossible, I can't do this, I can't do this. You just got to be honest with what it says. That's easy to be honest. Well, it's hard to step down into honesty, but then it's easy. I can't do this, I'm going to fail, it's too hard what she's saying, it's too hard, it's too hard, it's too hard. So you admit it, and then this is the super easy part. What is it you want in that situation? What you actually want is for it to be easy. And easiness and hardness is a state of mind. So you just have to say, I can do this, it's easy. So, but number one, this isn't about positive thinking. Positive thinking doesn't work. You've got to omit the negative thinking and then bit by bit recondition the negative thinking. So first of all, it's admitting that feeling. Like, I'm a failure, this is never going to work, this is going to be bad, I don't like this, blah, 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 blah. And then what is it I want? And deep down underneath it, you always want something beautiful. And what you want is you want love, you want to be at peace, and you want it to be easy. And you just have to believe it will be easy, and then it will be easy. Because how can you know hard? If you think it's easy, even if it takes you 10 years to complete something, it's easy. Like, it's so simple. I know that sounds stupid, I remember when my teacher started saying that to me, and I was like, man, he's a bozo, but I've got another option, I'll go with him. Like I know that sound, but if you're not thinking that it was hard, it could take you 30 years just to move one rock. And if you think that was easy, then your experience is it was easy. It doesn't, and what would you prefer? You prefer the feeling that it was easy. And it's amazing. When you change your vibration, how like attracts like this old story of law of attraction, when you change your vibration, how different the world becomes. Like, because everything seems to respond quite well to positivity. Like, if you think about it, what do you like in other people? Like, if you see a child playing, like, you love this vibrant energy that loves life, that's in wonder and mystery. And it seems that life responds well to that. So if you have the sense you want it to be easy, then it can be easy. It can be easy. I mean, it could even be so magical that a really heavy rock even feels light. We don't know the extent and the power of our imagination. It could be what they talk about, the siddhas or whatever. I'm not really into the siddhas. So yeah, it could be like that. Like, if you really have this positive feeling that the whole world transforms. But this is down to you. It's not down to me to convince you of magic and to do a trick in front of you just because I can't. But just to say that.
I recognise it, but I haven't worked out how to stop it from reoccurring.
It's a process, and it takes time, and you've got to not go down with the mind. Your mind has years, like this tidal wave behind, of pushing you to be negative at points, at times, and it's allowing that. So doing things where you can express it, like dancing or like Osho meditations, where you can really express some of this anger and stuckness that's in the body. And then, when you feel ready to start saying the opposite, like, I want this to be easy. It can be easy. It is easy. Life is easy.
I asked the same question about my psychologist.
Oh, yeah.
Didn't have an answer. So,
Oh, yeah.
so thank you. It's a brilliant answer. Thank you very much.
Oh, yeah. And if you've forgotten it, I think this might be on YouTube. You'll only see my legs, but you'll hear my voice. You get to look at my legs.
Okay, I guess
It won't be on YouTube for a while because we can't get the internet to work out here.
that's what I understand. I'll wait for it.
Yeah. And like, I like psychology. Like, I'm not against psychology or going to a psychologist because I think it's really helpful to explore everything. The only issue that I have with psychology is that they believe the answer is in a story. To me, they believe it's in a story or an action. And nothing in life ends. The thing that I love about non-duality and the mix of this is that your freedom is never found in yourself. However, you need to clear the debris. You need to tidy up the cage in order to see through the cage. If the cage is full of stuff, you can't see even through it that it is a cage. Yeah. But there is this other answer that's beyond that is a stop, a full stop. But that's your essence. Like, for me, the problem that I had with psychology is it tended to go inside the story of you, just inside the story of you, and there was no outside of you. But it depends what psychology you do. There's so many different ones and strands out there. And then the other problem that I sometimes had with some is that you don't get pushed into your body enough. And I feel like the body has all the answers. Because the body and the world are one thing. So it's almost like the world has all the answers. Like, there is no world out there and there is no separate body. The feeling and the felt are the same. The seeing and the seen are the same. The hearing and the heard are the same. So it's like, of course, this has all the answers. So that's why I like meditations and all these other physical things, because it pushes you more into what's actually happening for you now. But there's so many different psychologists out there, and I don't mean it as a criticism. I think it's all great. It's great to learn about relationships, about different personality types, about the empath, the narcissist, and then also to know none of it's true. Like, not to get too stuck in any of it. Like, it's just helpful along the way.
I'm trying to understand myself.
Yeah.
research.
Yeah, it's what a journey. I know at the moment you don't feel like that because you got tired of the journey, and that's what the Buddhists say you have to be. You have to get to this point where you get tired of it. You get tired of the ups and downs.
Yeah.
You see that life is suffering with just this one perspective, and then from that there is this whole other journey that's waiting to be revealed. And I promise you, if there's like a dedication to this, like, things will change. I see it happening when the heart, and you don't get taken down by, I can't do it, I'm going to fail, it won't happen. And that's very tempting. That's like very tempting storyline. I see people also getting stuck in that one for many years.
Thank you.
That's a pleasure. So like now, with everybody, like, what does your body feel like? Like what is happening inside the body? Like, is there a pain? Is there somewhere that's really hurting? And it really is quite mathematical. We're all quite similar, even though you've got your own unique experience. Like if you've got pain in your heart, in your throat, like your shoulders, like what is it feeling like? What's your body saying? And how often are you acting from this place of love, like this place of, I can do it, it is easy? And how often are you acting from, it's not going to work, it's going to fail? It's sometimes hard to tell because you've got this overriding story of yourself, of what you imagine yourself to be. Any more questions?